What's good, y'all? It's your boy Steve. Welcome back to another video. Today we got the worst anime hot takes of all time.
What is an unpopular anime opinion that y'all have?
Guts didn't really go through shit.
Stop the cap.
And some of these fans, it's just a pure ignorance that leaves their mouths. Like, I'm not even too upset over this one. This one is more like stupid than it is like upsetting. But like, yo, bro, what? And then I guarantee if you ask this man, he didn't read the manga. He probably just watched a couple Netflix specials and said he didn't go through nothing. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
With anime becoming more mainstream and platforms like TikTok and Twitter, oh snap, my bad, X, we see a lot more people sharing their opinions on anime. This of course leads to people saying the dumbest takes for clicks or just spreading blatant misinformation. And of course, people are gonna listen to their favorite
It's people that we watch an entire series through TikTok recaps. I'm so serious.
creators and spread the same nonsense. So today we're gonna look through some of the worst takes I've ever seen, and I'll try my best not to get angry. No hate to any of the creators though.
Luffy's Red Rock is now definitely more iconic than, and of course it's a One Piece fan. Yo, One Piece fans be the most out-of-pocket fans, and it's really just because their show is like the biggest show right now. And that's cool, but it's like, bro, it's allowed so many people to open their mouth and just release straight vile garbage, bro. We gonna get to it.
Okay, I don't know about y'all,
We'll
but whenever someone starts to glaze something a bit too much, do you feel the need to cancel out the glaze? Maybe I'm just a hater, but that's me with One Piece. I know One Piece is golden, I love it too, but when I see things like this, I just can't help but starting to
I do this with whatever. Anytime it's over glazed, you have to like, and it'd be sad because I love One Piece. I think One Piece is top 3. It's top 3 all time for me, but people just be doing too much with the glaze, like too much with it, bro. It be blowing me.
hate, especially when it's delusional takes. One thing we have to make known right here, barring Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z is the most iconic anime. I don't want to hear about no Demon Slayer or AOT or something. You don't have to like the story of Dragon Ball, but you can't deny its popularity. Many people know about Goku and the Dragon Balls. Heck, even people who don't watch anime may vaguely know about DBZ. Most anime fans know the story of Dragon Ball Z even if they didn't watch it because it's that iconic. Essentially, Dragon Ball Z is the father of shonen anime. I don't care if you like the Red Rock more than the Kamehameha. The way it debuted in one of the best episodes in One Piece, I wouldn't blame you. But if we use an
They'd be sucking it, and these be the takes from people that never watched Dragon Ball. They want to come out their mouths, and because they've seen Kamehameha through like a bunch of clips over the years, they don't want, like, you didn't sit down and go through the moments. You didn't sit like
biased lens. We all know that way more people have heard of the Kamehameha than the Red Rock. Kids
like,
at the park are probably yelling the Kamehameha 10 times before they yell Red Rock.
And here's another thing. Boy, here's another thing. Yo, One Piece wants their stuff to be iconic so bad. In reality, it's just not. Nothing sticks that well. At least in the West, right? The stuff doesn't stick, my brother. No one was in middle school trying to throw a gum pistol, big bro. No one was in middle school trying to go gear 3rd, big bro. People might have been trying to go gear 2nd, but no one was like, that's the most. Big bro, that is the most you had. But you look at other animes, people was throwing Getsuga Tensho's. And I'm not even saying, like, I'm a very hard critic on Bleach, but people was throwing Getsuga Tensho's, bro. People was yelling, "On Kai!" People was doing that, bro. Naruto, you already know you seeing kids weaving hand signs doing the Naruto run. Dragon Ball, you know you seeing kids trying to charge up a Kamehameha wave, bro. You didn't see that from the One Piece side of things growing up. But now that One Piece is on top, One Piece fans want to come and try to rewrite history like kids was really out in the street trying to do 3 swords style. No, kids wasn't doing that, big bro. They just weren't. I was a kid out in my grandmother's front yard with a homemade Demon Wind shuriken that worked. I was throwing that hoe across the yard. That's what I was doing. Mind you, I wasn't watching One Piece, so fair, but like, I should have seen somebody imitating something from it. I'm just saying. The stuff is not that iconic. I feel like One Piece has a lot of iconic moments. Like, it's not a lot of stuff you can like replicate, and everyone will know what you're talking about. Like, when I say moments, I mean like Zoro, nothing happened. That's a very iconic moment, but it's like, you're not gonna see like kids like referencing that, or at least you didn't. Now it might be a little different because, like I said, One Piece has hit their prime. They're #1 in the world now. You know what I'm saying? But man, I got a lot to say about One Piece. One Piece is really like J. Cole, and we're not. I'm gonna get. I'll explain it then. I'll explain it then because I already been talking too much.
Is Red Rock even Luffy's most iconic move?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with him apologizing. That's irrelevant.
Most fans starting the series will probably relate more with the Gum Gum pistol or the Gum Gum Gatling, but maybe that's just me. I just want y'all to know, when y'all say delusional takes like this, you make the community look crazy, so you gotta stop doing it.
Make them boys
I don't even think
stupid.
it's not even a debate. The Espadas would cook Stern Readers, bro.
I don't want to spend too long on this one, but this is easily one of the craziest things I've ever heard. This take ignores the basic premise of power creep shown in anime, but it also has multiple other implications that make my brain hurt. Like I said in my grandma video, I am not a power scaler, but I do think a caveman can prove this take wrong. The Espada were not weak by any means, but relative to the Stern Raiders, they are nothing. You just have to look at the captain's battles.
I don't know nothing about the Stern Raiders though, bro. I'm gonna have to. We can learn.
Death?
Oh yeah, this guy, he was
I was about
one
to
shot
skip.
by
I was about to be.
Soy
We can
arguably
learn
one
now.
of the weaker captains.
They have Grimjow.
This boy Grimjaw was getting rocked by Shinji with no Shikai and was beat by Hollow Mask Ichigo.
They had Yami, bruh.
He was slept on.
They mentioned Yami. Yami got off-screen by Kenpachi and Byakuya, and both Byakuya and Kenpachi were bodied by Stern Raiders. The Espada were essentially low to mid-difficulty opponents for the captains. Kenpachi only had to use 2 hands on his sword and one shot the 5th strongest one. Should we be Stark, the strongest one, with just a Shikai? You get the point. Off rip. When
I
the
would
Stern Raiders
hope
arrived,
the
they had
enemies
captains
later
pressed.
in the
Byakuya
show
and
are
Shisui
stronger
were basically like, oh nah, we need to use Bankai for
than the
y'all.
enemies
After getting violated,
previous.
these captains had
But
to
what
go
do I
through
know? I don't
crazy
know.
training, and then they could comfortably beat the Stern Raiders. But if that's not good enough for you, here's something else. Let's look at Ichigo for a little
I just
bit.
never watched
Hollow
1,000
Mask
Year Blood
Ichigo
War
was
arc.
able to beat Grimjaw with mid difficulty, but this is an Ichigo who's nowhere near the level of 1,000 Year Blood War Ichigo. 1,000 Year Blood War Ichigo is washing all the Espada from this arc, by the way. And this guy, this war threat, got his Bankai cut in half by Drew Graham with ease. The only way you believe that the Stern Raiders are getting cooked is if you believe that A, the captains got weaker during the time skipping after Aizen's defeat, B, Ichigo got weaker from the Wako Mundo arc and 1,000 Year Blood War arc, or
That's
C,
not real.
all
This
of
is
the
not
above.
realistic.
By the way, if you
But I
believe
don't
that
know.
1,000 Year Blood War Ichigo was weaker, then you must believe that Ukiura from this arc is also gonna go toe-to-toe with Yu-Hawk. If you believe that, please pass me the stuff that you're smoking. If the Stern Raiders are getting quote-unquote cooked by the Espada, that means you're telling me if the Espada invaded the Soul Society, it would have been an even worse result for the Gote 13. Let's just move on to the next take, bro. Hold up, before we do that, if you're liking this video so far, you're gonna want to subscribe to this channel because I'm
Maybe
gonna
that
keep
take
on
was
pumping
too
out
hot.
content like this.
I don't know.
Also, thank y'all so much for the support on the
Subscribe
last
though,
video. We
subscribe
gained, like,
though,
100
subscribe
subs off
though.
that one video, which was insane. Love y'all for that. Anyways, back to the video.
What is an unpopular anime opinion that y'all have?
Guts didn't really go through shit, and people keep him overhyping him.
What? Guts didn't really go through nothing? I know it's supposed to be an unpopular opinion, but you know what? Let's hear him out. Let's actually give this guy a chance.
Let me talk.
Okay,
Talk
he
to him.
got
Talk.
raped as a baby, so what? He got his girl, he got cooked. Oh, too bad, nigga.
Y'all see what I'm talking
He knows. He knows. He knows. What type of ignorance is this? This is a new level of ignorance. Hold on. What is? All right, bro.
about, right? TikTok and Twitter cooked hot takes. People just say things nowadays to just say things. He's
That's what
acting
I'm
like that's
saying.
the only thing that's happened to Guts. Let's run off the list of things that happened to Guts. Off rip, he was
Like it's a lot of things. I don't want to. I'm play it. I'm not gonna listen to it, because I gotta really read this. Like it'd be hard to like really start reading a manga, bro. I started reading it years back. Couldn't get past certain parts. It wasn't bad. I'm just bad with reading. You know what I'm saying? It puts me to sleep. But I'll play it though. I just won't, you know what I'm saying?
born from his mother's mean corpse. As a child, he was raised by a man who was willing to sell him to
I
a
turned
predator
it down
for
to my
3
headphones, I
coins.
ain't
Then the
gonna lie.
same man who raised him tried to kill him in a
Yeah, it's
drunken
kinda like
rage, and
looking
Guts
away
had
from
to end
the
him.
screen
Then
for a
we can
second,
fast forward a bit to when Guts found a
Yeah,
group he
so,
could really call a
like-
family, along with a best friend and a girlfriend. Well, that best friend decided to make a deal with evil beings to achieve his
Yeah,
dreams.
this is crazy,
deal
though.
required the sacrifices all those friends Guts made, and this guy who was supposed to be Guts' best friend
This-
also
I
R-worded
did
Guts'
see this.
girlfriend in front of him. I didn't
I
even
did-
get through
yeah, that-
half of
that
this
was
guy's
crazy.
suffering, but I
I
think
seen
y'all got
that
the
part.
point. In the video, he tries to say, but Kaneki was tortured. Yes, this is true, but two things can be true at the same time. Are we Ooga Booga cavemen who can only see things in black and white? Now, I don't know what this guy's been through, but it'd have to be insane if you can just look at Guts' story and say, man, not that bad. The amount of things going wrong in your life to equate to Guts' suffering is so improbable that this take is just chatting. Next take.
He's saying Kaneki went through more than Guts? Stop. Stop. How long anime MCs would last in the One Piece verse? Yo, bro. 5 hours, a year, 10 days, 1 day. Is that a Blue Lock character? What is? They don't have powers, do they? They're playing soccer. It might be some abnormal soccer in that hoe, but why is a Blue Lock character here? What? There's a set amount on him? 5 years, Aaron Yeager. 5 days, 1 hour, 5. Okay, they're trolling. There's people in the One Piece verse living sweet, rent-free, not rent-free, but they're living sweet and dandy, and they're weaker than this dude. I don't know nothing about this dude. I know he plays soccer. They're weaker than this man, though. I know that. Now, do they be in the new world? Some people be in the new world, just on a random island, just living their life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Wow, I don't even know what to say about this list. I'm flabbergasted. It has to be bait or something.
It's cap.
Anyone who has watched any of these anime know that this
cap.
list is just blatantly wrong. How does a soccer player last longer in One Piece than Ichigo? How does Deku last longer than Ichigo? Who was killing Ichigo in One Piece, period? I guarantee you, not many people are surviving a Getsuga Tensho. And don't even talk about hockey, because if it took bro 2.5 days to learn Bankai, he's gonna learn hockey quick enough so he's not getting rocked all the time.
Yeah.
Then we can move on to Naruto. Naruto only lasts 1 year in One Piece. I don't know what it is with Naruto fans and One Piece fans.
And it's really, I'm telling you, this is like this matchup right here, as far as fan bases, not the characters. This matchup right here, bro, it's one for the books, boy. Let me tell you, the fans be at each other's necks, bro. Neck and neck, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It's entertaining, though.
But I feel like they be beefing for no reason. Seriously, I dare you to go on TikTok and look up anything related to Naruto or Luffy's character. I'd say like 80% of the time, you'll see a comment from one fan page going after the other anime.
Yep.
Similarly to Ichigo, I can't see Naruto living in One Piece for 1 year and not learning about hockey at some point. I feel like 1 year is enough time for Naruto to learn some type of hockey, and once that happens, it's actually over.
Brother in Christ, I want you to understand every technique or like thing Naruto needed to learn, he learned it thousands of times faster than all of his predecessors. I need you to understand that. Only thing that took him a minute to understand was Shadow Clone Jutsu, and that's the beginning of the series while he's being nerfed by a seal. As soon as he got a scroll to figure out exactly how to do it, he figured out how to do it even with the seal still on him. He figured out how to do it, and he figured out how to do it better than anyone ever, essentially, right then and there. But
bro can just spam shadow clones to train it super fast. I also don't know how Meliodas lasts only an hour and Natsu lasts only 5 minutes. No one is doing anything against the son of the Demon King. And if
I'm gonna be honest, I had to put down 7 Deadly Sins. I put that down years ago. I remember I was watching season 2. They was walking, I don't know, they got sent to an underworld or something, and they was just walking down the path. I said, yo, season 1 wrapped up so beautifully. I don't even know what we're doing here right now. Dead serious. Shut that hoe off, never touched it again. Fairy Tail, on the other hand, the animation, it was like on some, like, how do I explain it? Other animes do it too. It was like on some Power Rangers stuff where when Natsu would do a move or an attack, I watched like 18 episodes. Natsu would do an attack, and when every time he did the attack, it was like a stock image. You know, it was like a stock clip. It was like him doing the move, and then the whole background was like red, fiery, you know what I'm saying? It was a stock clip like every time, and the background of that hoe used to literally scratch my eyes. I hate that. I hated that. Could not watch that any longer. Had to get out of there, bro. Had to.
Natsu into any
I don't know nothing about Natsu.
Frying up everyone barring any Logia users. I shouldn't even have to mention why Goku Black surviving only 10 years is insane to say. This man is gonna terrorize humanity and make the celestial dragons look like good guys. I really just feel like whoever made this list was just trolling or something, because there's actually no way you can think this stuff seriously.
Everyone.
Oh my goodness, I lost some brain cells.
Everyone from Dragon Ball that's, I was about to say know how to fly, but then there's Puar. Every Saiyan from Dragon Ball is surviving a good amount of time in One Piece. I think Chi-Chi is surviving a good amount of time in One Piece. And he's Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi know how to fight, though. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I did see he has a 2, he has a 3, and he has a 4. I'm about to go watch 2 right now. It's going to be a whole separate video. Tune into that, because I'm always here for the anime hot takes. I ain't going to lie. It's very interesting to me. I like talking about it. So, if you like the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. You do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. To the next one. Peace.